Hello, and thank you for watching today's Canada Regional Forecast. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, kind of recapping the snow that we had over the weekend and into early this week, I put together some of the snow totals I was able to find. These values are in centimeters, highest across southwestern Alberta here. We had some influence from the mountains here, a little additional lift, anywhere from 60 to 90 centimeters in this area. Elsewhere, about 15 to 20 as we talk about areas north of Calgary, heading over here into parts of central and southern Saskatchewan here, about 10 to maybe 30 centimeters of snow here over the weekend. And so just kind of recapping this, a couple things we can look at. Yesterday, I went ahead and saved the visible satellite loop. And I want to draw your attention right here. We had all the snow fall. When these clouds clear the area, you see that white left over on the ground right there? That is the snow cover being picked up by the satellite here, kind of looking down at the Earth from space. We're able to see that snow cover highlighted here across southern Alberta, Saskatchewan, into northern Montana. So pretty cool. Once the clouds broke there, we were able to look down and see that fresh snow cover. And just recapping how this all happened, again, just focusing right on this area. Here's that big, powerful upper level low spinning away. We'll go ahead and let this loop restart, and I'll draw your attention here, just looking at this clockwise or counterclockwise motion there, the big storm system. Another way to look at this is the water vapor loop here, and just a dramatic picture across North America. And so just kind of showing you what we've got. We had the jet stream doing something like this, the big trough in the west, the ridge in the east. Our low pressure system was just parked right in this area, and the high pressure is sitting over the southeast of the United States. So we've got surface flow around that high pressure coming in clockwise, pumping Gulf moisture northward. This streams northward across the central U.S., and then the low pressure system across the northern plains, counterclockwise flow around that, taps into and draws this moisture northward up into the Canadian Prairie. Then we've got the Rockies right in this area, so we get upward vertical motion aided by that. And so that, again, just kind of sets the stage. I know I've made a complicated map here, but that's what caused the heavy snowfall, is a setup like this, drawing plenty of moisture northward from the Gulf of Mexico, a strong low pressure system parked over the northwestern U.S., and that draws the cold air southward to, instead of have this be a rain event, make this a snow event across the area. So an early winter storm across the Canadian Prairie, but Mother Nature does not own a calendar, I like to say, and when you get the setup, you get the setup and you get the results. So moving ahead, we are still dealing with colder temperatures overall for the next 5 days, but it's a slow warming trend. It'll be slowest across areas with snow on the ground as we try to melt that down across southern Alberta, across southwestern Saskatchewan, but we should do some quick melting. We'll take a look at that here in a moment. And then over the next week or so, overall looking at a drier pattern across the Canadian Prairie, so that also is good news here. We can just kind of melt the snow and reset things across the prairie and not necessarily plunge into an early winter overall. Looking at the satellite picture here early on Wednesday morning, not much going on across the Canadian Prairie. We're getting a little bit of light rain shower activity and some cloud cover across southern portions of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Also some clouds as we wake up here across parts of central and southern Alberta as well. Looking at the radar again, no significant precipitation across the area, just again maybe some very light showers across far southern Saskatchewan, and maybe a couple light showers falling across parts of central Alberta as well, maybe even a couple of light snow showers with some colder air in place over there, but no significant precipitation. That should be the theme as we head through the weekend and into early next week. Total precipitation over the last 24 hours, relatively light to none. We've got a lot of zeros here across Alberta and Saskatchewan, a couple trace to 4 millimeter readings here across, one here in Edmonton, and then a couple here across parts of central and southern Saskatchewan. More precipitation across southern Alberta here as the storm system got out of here, but all of that still relatively light, between a trace to 4 millimeters, so no significant precipitation over the last 24 hours. Current snowpack, I know this is a bit of a complicated map, but it's kind of what we got to work with. Seeing the heaviest snow concentrated right here across northern Montana into far southern Alberta here, where we've got anywhere from 25 to 60 centimeters of snow still on the ground. Elsewhere, generally light, less than 10 centimeters overall across central and southern Alberta into central and southwestern Saskatchewan. So there is a snowpack, but we'll do some quick work on that with some sunshine and some warmer temperatures as we head into the end of the week. Now, where are we headed beyond that? Well, we've got good agreement over the next 5 to 7 days that we're looking at a drier pattern across the prairie. We get some big disagreement between our weather models when we head into the middle part of next week, and I'll talk about that here in a minute and let you know what we're going to do about it. Heading into the end of the week, again, high pressure moving in, maybe some very light showers, maybe a couple light snow flurries, but no significant precipitation. Really expecting drier conditions overall. All the way into the weekend, we do have a storm system that kind of swings through the northern plains into parts of southern Manitoba and Ontario over the weekend. So some precipitation, especially across southern Manitoba, as we head into late Friday into Saturday. But this is a quick moving system. It gets on out of here quickly. And again, no significant precipitation expected with this, but maybe a quick dose across parts of southern Manitoba. Behind that, high pressure takes back over. We do start to warm up as we head into the early part of next week. I'm going to stop right here because at this point, the GFS, the American Long Range Model, wants to take a powerful storm system and drag it right across the prairie and bring some snow across this area. And I have big question marks and concerns about that because the European Long Range Model, which is typically a step above the GFS here, wants nothing to do with that. It takes the storm system from this area, slowly just kind of lifts it across here with some weak precipitation across the Canadian prairie, but really a non-event as it moves west to east across the region. So I'm going to leave you with a mostly dry forecast as we head into the beginning of next week, into Monday and Tuesday of next week, a quiet pattern across the Canadian prairie. Question marks when we get into day 7 to 10, Wednesday of next week, into the end of next week. The GFS wants to take it into an active pattern, bring another chance of snow to parts of the Canadian prairie. The European model, nothing to do with it, a much quieter pattern. So let's just focus on the 5 to 7 day time frame right now. Understand that we've got some high uncertainty once we get into the 7 to 10 day time frame. We'll diagnose this a little bit further on Friday and see if one of these models starts trending towards the other ones, because right now, and I don't envy Eric Snodgrass, he's working on our long range forecast right now, where he's trying to look a month to two in the future, and we have just got a really problematic picture right now as we try to look beyond 5 to 7 days. So let's just watch it day by day here. Check back in with me on Friday. Over the next 5 days, or the next 6 days, taking it all the way into Monday morning again from the GFS, quiet, especially across southern Alberta, parts of southwestern Saskatchewan, and that's where we've got the snow. So this is good news where we have the snow on the ground. Not expecting much, if any, precipitation as we head through the end of the week into early next week. The National Blended Model, this again takes a blend of some of our more popular long-range models. Same thing, a big hole in the precipitation across southern Alberta into southern Saskatchewan. Some of this precipitation here across southern Manitoba falling from that storm system here Friday and Saturday as we start the weekend, but still looking relatively light in that area even. And then, as I said, we are warming slowly as we head into the end of the week, into the weekend, and early next week. What I'm going to tell you, though, is I don't think this is a long-term warm-up. It's good news. It helps us thaw out. This is looking at temperature anomalies as we head into Tuesday of next week. So there you see the blues and the greens fade, and that will happen even quicker once we finally melt this snowpack over the next few days. You see those replaced by the warmer colors there. But again, just enjoy the warm-up as we head into early next week. I don't think it's sticking around at this point. I do think we're going to get another shot of cooler air as we head into the 7 to 10 day time frame. That would be the end of next week and into next weekend. So a slow warm-up for the next 7 days. Probably not a permanent warm-up, though, or at least not a long-term warm-up. Looking at the snow cover, the snow depth forecast here, we do some quick work on that. Should have most, if not all of that melted across the prairie by the time we get to the end of the week. Total precipitation across Alberta right now, just playing this out quickly, expecting dry conditions across the bulk of the prairie across southern Alberta. Maybe some light precipitation as we head into the weekend and into early next week across northern areas. Taking a look at your high temperatures for the day on Wednesday, still pretty cold. The core of that coldest air sinking into the area right now, so it is uphill from here if you want to focus on the good news and avoid what we're dealing with today, which is high temperatures near zero across the prairie, especially where there's snow on the ground, into the teens off to the north. Overnight lows dropping back into the below freezing here, below zero. High temperatures tomorrow, warming slowly. We do get a couple degrees above freezing. Some sunshine will help with that on Thursday, and then Thursday night into Friday morning, still dropping near zero, if not below zero, a couple degrees. Again, especially where there's snow on the ground, that's where we're going to be the coldest. And then warming on Friday afternoon into at least positive territory, if not 10 to 15 degrees, where we got the snow melted by the time we get to Friday. Overnight lows, once again, as we head into Friday night and Saturday morning, should stay above zero in most areas here, maybe a couple areas where we've still got some snow on the ground, maybe a degree or two below zero. Looking at the total precipitation forecast for Saskatchewan and Manitoba, a lot of this is some light rain shower activity that's happening right now. Not expecting anything beyond the 5 to 10 millimeter threshold here over the next couple days in south central Saskatchewan into southern Manitoba. And then as we head into the Friday and Saturday timeframe, we may watch for a system to quickly track through this area, dropping another, again, 5 to 15 millimeters of precipitation across southern Manitoba. Your temperature forecast for the next 3 days across Saskatchewan and Manitoba, your highs on Thursday, about 5 to 8 degrees across the area, cooler in southwestern Saskatchewan where there's some snow on the ground. Your overnight lows tonight into Thursday morning below zero in southwestern Saskatchewan where there's snow on the ground, single digits elsewhere across the region. Your highs on Friday into the single digits to near 10 degrees across southern Manitoba. Overnight lows Thursday night into Friday morning, looking at low temperatures just a couple degrees above freezing, getting most of the snow melted at this point across the region. And then looking at Saturday afternoon, looking for high temperatures right around 10 degrees, maybe even the teens in some parts of southern Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Heading to bed then, waking up on Saturday morning with your overnight lows in the single digits, saying goodbye for now to the below zero freezing temperatures. As always, Eric Snodgrass will have an in-depth look at the evolution of the next 1 to 2 weeks in our Thursday morning ag forecast video, and I will be back to talk about the Canadian Prairie on Friday morning. Have a great day.